West Ham United are now safe. We said this in the previous video. I'm not going to keep going over it. I realised there was a few comments from fans. Like, look, I do understand it. I do understand people's mentality of thinking, well, hang on, you can't say we're safe because we're not mathematically safe yet and you're jumping the gun. There's still games to be played. I do get it. I do understand what people are saying. But if you actually look into the possibilities of actually us getting relegated and the chances of it happening, it's literally... I told you in the previous video, it's the bookies have got like 500 to 1. It's really not worth worrying about. Relegation is not something we need to be concerned with at all. Which brings us on to the next big thing of our season. Yeah, that was one big thing. David Moyes said it previously. The most important thing of the season was keeping the club up and staying in the Premier League. And he's right. You know, relegation would be an absolute disaster for West Ham. That's now been avoided. West Ham don't have to worry about that anymore. It's the perfect timing because now not only have we just beaten Manchester United, our towers are up, we're feeling good, but now we're going into the Conference League semi-final, AZ Alkmaar, and you kind of look at this and start believing that this is a big, big opportunity for our club. In fact, it really is. I'd say go as far as saying this is the best opportunity I've had in my lifetime, West Ham winning a trophy, and I'm including the FA Cup final in that with Liverpool. The only reason I'm saying that is because when we went into that game, Liverpool were quite... not to say miles superior to us, but it was always felt that was going to be a very tough game for us. I still think that was one of the most unluckiest days of a West Ham fan. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to worry about it. But look, this is the really big opportunity. And it's one where we can really focus on it. Because beforehand, let's just say, for instance, we'd lost to Manchester United or even drawn with Manchester United. We'd have one eye on Sunday. We'd have one eye on the Brentford game going, oh my God, we've got to get a result on Sunday. And we'd have that cloud hanging over us. And I've had that cloud hanging over, well, we've had that cloud hanging over us the whole of this season, really, because we've been down the bottom end of the season, end of the table all campaign since it started against Manchester City and Forest and what have you. We've been down the bottom. So we've had relegation looming over us for a long, long time. And it's actually taken away the enjoyment of what the Europa Conference League has offered West Ham. Because let's be honest, this has been a special season on Europe again, but we just haven't been able to really enjoy it as fans because we've got this worry all the time, this dread and constantly looking at these fixtures and worrying about the weekend. So always in the back of your mind, you're thinking, yeah, it was a great weekend, you know, a great result on the Thursday night, but you're dreading weekend, you're dreading the other results. We can switch off now. We can actually just focus on the Europa Conference League. And it's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity for us. But it's one that David Moyes now really needs to get right and really understand what he's got. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. David Moyes must realise that the opportunity in front of him is the best opportunity he's had in his whole football career. And I'm talking all the years he's had at Everton, all the successes he did there. When I say successes, you know, he had some very good seasons there, but he never lifted the trophy. Went to Manchester United, of course, didn't work out. This is a really big moment in his career. He will know it. And he really needs to get it because obviously between the, you know, we've got two legs in the semi-final. Between that's the Brentford game. And I really, really hope that David Moyes is of the mindset of thinking that is not an important game for us anymore. We don't need to really worry about Brentford. I'm not saying write off Brentford and just put out the kids and don't care about it. It doesn't matter if we lose 8-0. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm saying, you know, you still want to intend to do well in that match. But what I think West Ham do need to do is to seriously prioritise these two matches in the against AZ Alkmaar. They are critical because David Moyes, these players are on the cusp of something really special in their careers, for the club, for everything. This is what football's all about. I don't care what anyone says about the Conference League. I'm really not interested in hearing about it. It's Mickey Mouse. It's rubbish. You know, Jose Mourinho was in tears last season lifting this trophy. It's not nothing. Okay, is it as big as the Champions League? No, it's not. Is it as big as the Premier League? No, it's not. But it's a trophy. It's a European trophy. It's got some decent sides in it, and we've done really well. We've done really well. We deserve to be where we are. I mean, really, these players and this manager are on the cusp of, you know, literally becoming club legends. They really are. I mean, David Moyes, whatever we think about him in terms of his playing style, negative approach sometimes to matches, all these kind of things that have been frustrating, especially this season, very frustrating. Not saying they get forgotten and it's like, oh, he's a break, but he would become a great manager for West Ham. He would go down in history as one of our greatest managers. And he has to be. Keeping West Ham up, not just saying this season, but I'm talking about when he came back on, he came into the club on 2 occasions to do that. And then to lead the club to a trophy and 3 consecutive European qualifications of European football. I mean, that's unheard of at West Ham. It's unheard of. I mean, this is something that it's got to be taken now so seriously. I'm sure David Moyes is more than aware of it. He cannot surely be thinking in his mind, right, I've got Brentford on Sunday, I've got to play Rice, I've got to play Bowen, I've got to play Antonio. These players need protecting. In fact, I've actually listed those players. The players I want to rest are Rice, Bowen, Antonio, Paqueta and a Gerd, at least. I would really try and rest as many players as possible for Sunday when we play Brentford. But we need squad rotation now more than ever. David Moyes needs his best side in for this. This is a really important game. And then what I quite like about it as well, which is what makes me feel a bit of confidence toward David Moyes, is the comments that are coming out of the football club about this match. You're hearing it from Lucas Paqueta. We want to make history. We're talking about the Conference League all the time. It's a main focus. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear about Brentford. I really don't. And I know it sounds ridiculous because it would have been something to consider. Let's be honest. If we'd lost to Manchester United, we'd all be now going, yeah, looking forward to Thursday. Big game. Oh, God, got to bear in mind, though, be careful Sunday. Can't get any injuries. We really have to be fresh for Sunday because that would be in the back of our minds. Now it's not. We don't have to worry about that. The players can literally give it everything on Thursday and they can all be rested, as far as I'm concerned. I really think that's what we should be doing. I'm quite interested to know your thoughts on that. And I know some, as I said, I know some fans are going to say to me, "Well, we're not safe yet. You've got to go all out on Sunday." We can't at all. West Ham have to rest the players because this is a really special moment in West Ham's history here. We've got such an opportunity on our hands. It's not going to be a breeze. I'm not doing the preview. I'm not doing the preview for the match itself. That's going to be tomorrow. Okay, this is just more talking about in general sense of the importance of what we're about. What these next 2 weeks are going to mean for our football club. We're one step away from a final, a cup final on the European stage. It's unheard of for us as fans. We this is not West Ham. We're not used to this. I mean, you look at the players that we're talking about in this club as well. Lucas Paqueta, your Declan Rice. Declan Rice could well be leaving West Ham this summer. It's well documented. We know it. Because he wants to win trophies. This is his best chance now. That he's got a trophy right in front of him. We're a couple of steps away from it anyway. He'll know that. Declan Rice will be absolutely aching to get to this trophy. Lucas Paqueta plays for Brazil. He was fighting for a World Cup not long ago. He'll be aching to get to this trophy. You got the likes of Jarrod Bowen and Mikel Antonio, came from non-league football, has worked his way up. He will be desperate to lift that trophy. This is a really big moment. And there's a big difference between West Ham of last season when we were in the Europa League and we obviously got knocked out in the semi-finals, is that this squad has got depth, it's got experience, it's got winners in it, it's got players that, like I've just said, those players have listed, and there's more. A Gerd, another big player. Zuma, a big player, played on the big stages. He knows what this is all about. These players will want this trophy. This is not something that's an inconvenience. Because let's be honest, it probably was starting to become that a little bit. Not inconvenience, maybe the wrong word, but it was probably becoming a slight distraction from a big problem. Because we had the Premier League. We had this constant cloud hanging over us of we could get relegated. That's gone. That cloud has parted. We don't have to worry about that anymore. I mean, really, this is such an exciting time for West Ham. And I can't believe that we are how close we are to something really special. And we could do it. We really could do it now. Not saying I've never believed it. I have believed it. But because of the whole situation with the season and the doom and gloom of the Premier League and this constant battle to try and get the points together and all that kind of stuff, it's just taken away that magic from me. And I'm sure most fans have. I've just not really believed we're going to win it. I've not really looked at it because I just looked at it, we're not going to get relegated and win a trophy. It's not going to happen. I just thought we've got too much on our plate in the Premier League now. We can't relax. We can now. We can relax. We don't have to worry about it. We don't even have to think about Thursday. If I was a manager, I wouldn't be slightly concerned about Sunday. Sorry, I wouldn't be worried about Sunday. I wouldn't be slightly concerned about it. Brentford's a nothing game to us now. We don't need to worry about it. We can deal with it when we get to it and we want to do well, try and get something there. Of course we do. But it's not a big priority. Don't need to really worry about it. A defeat there wouldn't really matter. It's not really the end of the world. What is so important is that West Ham tackle these 2 games, the utmost importance, because let's be honest, this club, these players, and our manager, David Moyes, at the moment, are on the cusp of making history.